Welcome back to What's Real TV. I'm Melissa Kelly, and now we're going to go into our question and answer portion of the show. Faith, what questions do we have tonight?
Well, we have some really great questions tonight, actually, Melissa. So I'm going to go ahead and let this young lady start off. What's your name?
Angela.
Angela, what question do you have for the panel?
It's very challenging raising children in today's world. How do you find a good balance between protecting your children's impressionable being and not smothering them with Christianity?
So finding that balance.
I think one of the things is learning not to respond out of fear. Because I'm going to be honest, when I was growing up, it wasn't that my mom didn't believe in my dreams, but there was things she wanted to protect me because in some aspects she feared maybe that I wouldn't be successful at certain things. So she put certain parameters around me to make sure that I wasn't going to get my heart hurt or my heart broken. And I think being able to control those fears that maybe some parents might have been through some things and have done things in their past, or maybe they've experienced things with other people that they fear that their child's going to do the same thing, and not responding out of that fear, but trying to instill a sense of, look, you can't do this at certain points of the day, but I will allow you to expand your creativity.
That's good.
I know growing up, my parents really guarded a lot of stuff we did, a lot of stuff we watched, a lot of stuff we listened to, which I think was good. But I think, and they will admit to this, I think they felt that they took it a little too far. So then, you know, like when I went over to my friend's house, I wanted to watch whatever I wanted to watch because I couldn't, and that's more of a rebellious thing. But like Lon said, it's kind of like you need to give them enough to where they can just, you teach them and you instill them the right things, the biblical things, and really common sense things. And then you trust that what you've planted in their heart is actually going to be there when it comes time for them to make that decision.
I think that's really good, Melissa. I think, too, communication is a really big key as well. You know, and just being able to ask your family, ask your parents, ask them, you know, well, why are you doing this? Or, you know, with punishments and or different things, you know, because it's not just because I said so. I don't know. I just feel that it should be more communicated.
I agree with you.
All right, we'll go to our next question. What's your name, dear?
Brianna.
Brianna, go ahead and ask your question.
What do you do when your family doesn't support you or the decisions that you make?
Well, first of all, I think that we need to ask ourselves, what decisions are they trying to make?
Yes.
You know, because if you're out there trying to do drugs and pimping and all that stuff that doesn't go well, or enhance society, all those types of things, I think, first of all, is trying to figure out what it is the child is trying to do. Now, if the child is trying to do something positive that is biblical, something that will encourage others or build someone else up, I think that's something that is a parent should support.
I would, to add to that, communication is very important. A lot of times our generation has a hard time communicating, sitting down with parents saying, hey, this is the direction I'm thinking about going in. I'm open to wisdom. I'm open to hear what you think about it. Sometimes we just kind of do things, and that will cause friction. So communication, being open about what direction we want to go in with them.
Thank you, Brandon. That's awesome. We have another question, and I'm going to let you say your name, dear.
Shamitria.
Okay, Shamitria. So what is your question for the panel?
If you're not really connecting with your parents, how do you ask for help and advice?
I would say, like Brandon said, like honestly, communication is the key because I know growing up, I had a hard time with my parents. I was very rebellious and I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I think I would have avoided a lot of heartache and a lot of stuff that I've had to go through if I would have actually talked to them and actually literally talked to them and told them how I felt about things instead of thinking that me telling them, well, I'm going to hurt their feelings or they're going to get upset, or if I tell them what I've actually done, I'm just going to get in trouble. It actually would have been worth it in hindsight to talk to them and just to tell them how I feel about things, because parents are a lot more understanding than we think. And even if it's not dealing with a parent, if it's dealing with someone who's a leader in your life, I think they're a lot more understanding than we usually think that they are.
I think also listening listening to your parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if they feel, especially the baby boomer generation or the generation above, Generation Y, I think you're Generation Y. I'm on the edge of it. But basically, if they feel that you are listening to them, then they will more likely listen to you because they feel affirmed with their age and with the wisdom that they're sharing with you. And so I think just really spending time making sure that you're conscientious. I'm listening to my parents. They really see that I'm genuinely listening with my body, with my eyes. You know, teenagers and young people, they tend to, you know, roll the eyes and all that stuff, popping the.
I'm not on
So
my
yeah, all
iPhone.
that,
No.
Right.
popping the neck and stuff. But yeah, but genuinely listen to your parents.
I hate to have to add in here too, but this one is a good one.
Yes.
Not all the time, depending on what you want to talk about, you have to determine, you know your family better than anyone. Determine who is the best one. You cannot get both of them together to talk about a certain subject, depending on what it is. You may need to get one, hey mom, I'd like to talk to you about something.
That's
because
very
you know
good.
maybe dad's going to respond a certain way. Maybe, just maybe, and I'm not going against parents. I'm not going against parents, but maybe sometimes, and I've been in situations where I didn't go to parents about certain situations. Maybe it was a brother I went to, but a sister, someone I could
Yes.
trust, and then they would bring me to the parents and say, okay, Brandon wants to talk to you about this, and this is what's going on. So you deciding who is the best person to talk to you, you know, about your situation.
Yeah, and also talking about the body of Christ, like what we talked about earlier, sometimes these parents are not healthy parents. That's what
Right.
we have to remember too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that you can go to a leader in the church or someone that would be, someone that you look up to that you can trust, you know, and that you can always, you know, pull on that treasury, if you will, as well, you know? Thank you very much, sweetheart. Okay, Essence, would you come up and just ask our question for our panel?
How do you balance family, personal life, and career?
That is a good one.
That's always a challenge. I deal with that constantly. I mean, this week I had to see my father. He's in the nursing home he had a stroke and a heart attack, so I had to visit him. I had to make sure that I was, you know, getting in my sister's life, making sure she's making some really good choices. I work during the week when I do, you know, the speaking. I work, you know, I also work in schools and things like that. And in the evening times, I'm working on the TV show. So I have a very hectic life. Not only that, I would like to have friends. So on top of all that, I'm being serious. On top of all that, so it's really hard to do that. But one of the things that I've learned is really knowing what is my purpose in life, what is my vision, what are my
That is
goals,
good.
and prioritizing my life and my friends and the tasks that I have to do around that, and saying no to things. Because if I don't say no to certain things that aren't aligned with my purpose, that's just going to add more frustration, complication, and more confusion. So I think really figuring out what is most important to me right now, and how can I be most effective in serving others, not just my personal bank account.
And to add real quick to that, I know that sometimes I deal with this, and I have found the best thing to do is I just ask God. I said, I need wisdom on how to balance all this stuff because I do have a family. I do work full time. I'm busy with lots of things. And so I have started to ask him, which is what I should have done in the first place, is, you know, give me wisdom on how to manage my time so I can manage all these things and balance all these things in my life.
You know, and just something to even add to that is, it is a challenge. I think going back to the purpose, asking God, and then also bringing your family into it. That's so funny. When you do have your family, hey, can you guys delegate some things? Help me do this. Can someone else please help me with this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a good thing to keep in mind as well.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for right now. So we will be right back.
All right.